I got 3 teams for you. And 2 of them didn't make any moves at the trade deadline. One of them did. And these are all teams where I look at them and I see their record and I say, I just still don't know if you're good. So let's talk about it. The first team I want to talk about is the one, the only, the Los Angeles Rams. So the Rams this year, they are 6-2. They are first in the NFC West. Matthew Stafford is playing very good. Puka Nacua playing very well. Devontae Adams, I thought he was kind of done. He was just looking for a nice place to live, Los Angeles. He's playing well. Like the Rams, despite the loss of Cooper Kupp in the offseason, have not missed a beat. And I guess it's a Sean McVay coach team, so you didn't expect them to, falter very much. However, here's what I'll say. You look at their wins, and I'm going to read them off to you, and you're going to notice a trend here. Win against the Texans at home, win against the Titans on the road, win against the Colts at home, win against the Ravens at home or on the road, win against the Jags, win against the Saints. Both of those technically at home. The Jags game was the Britain game or the London game, whatever. So it's not technically a home game, but the thing I notice is that all the teams they beat outside of the Colts, and that game they won in a walk-off touchdown, all of those games all those teams are not that good. Now, their 2 losses are the Eagles and the 49ers. I don't think the 49ers are that good, and the Eagles are also somewhat questionable at times. Again, I hate to play the schedule game because you play who's in front of you, and it sort of is what it is. But look, the Rams are playing well, and I'm not totally certain that they are really good, but they're definitely one of the teams that when you play them, they're probably going to score a lot. But they also are going to have games where you're like, what is this team? How are they in the position that they're in? It's a weird mix. And also, very good point. A.D. Mitchell. Yeah, very good point. Very good point. I even forgot about that. That's a good call out. And so, look, ahead of their schedule, they got the 49ers on the road, but, I guess it's not really a home game, not really a road game for them. Then you got the Seahawks at home, Buccaneers at home, Panthers on the road, Cardinals on the road, Lions at home. Like, they got their division is kind of a weird mix of, with the Seahawks being good, the 49ers being kind of questionable, and the Cardinals being the Cardinals. So they got a case where they could very well end up with that division title. But, you wonder with Matthew Stafford's back, is he going to be good by the end of the year? Is Puka Nacua going to manage to stay healthy? He's already dealt with some injuries this year, and he dealt with injuries last year. So it's kind of a weird team. They didn't add at the trade deadline, so I don't know. I'm not saying they're bad. They're a feisty team. They're a good team. They're a team that certainly I would not be shocked if I see them in the NFC Championship game, if not even potentially the Super Bowl, just given the NFC is kind of apoplectic at the moment. But I'm not totally, if people are like, oh, they're the best team, no, not quite there. Now, team number 2 is another kind of weird one, and that is Denver Broncos. So the Denver Broncos, similar, first place in their division, 7-2. And once again, we look at their schedule. They've won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a row after dropping 2 straight, one of those to a division rival on the road, the Chargers. They also lost to the Colts in just a dramatic turn of events, a game that they very well should have won, but a stupid penalty, got them where they are. But you go ahead and you look at their wins as well. And it's a win against the Titans, win against the Bengals, win against the Eagles on the road. That's probably the most impressive win. Win against the Jets, win against the Giants, win against the Cowboys, win against the Texans. None of those teams are really scary at all. And they got a Thursday night game against the Raiders that they will almost certainly feast on. Unfortunately for them, things don't get that much harder. Or fortunately for them, did I say unfortunately? Fortunately for them, things don't get that much harder. I think I said unfortunately. My bad. because they got the Chiefs at home. That's that's probably going to be a tough game. They always play the Chiefs always play them tough. But you got the Commanders on the road. Commanders probably by that point they might who knows Jaden Daniels' status or the rest of that team's status just due to injuries. The Raiders on the road. They got the Packers at home, Jaguars at home, Chiefs on the road, and Chargers at home. They very well could be the team to win that division. I don't remember where I ended up putting them in that in my win total prediction. But the Broncos, the thing about them, really good defense. Offense is questionable. Offense is very questionable. I like Cortland Sutton. I think he's a very good receiver. I like, who's the other guy they got? Mims. I think he's a very good receiver as well. J.K. Dobbins, very good running back. Bo Nix is the question mark. And I just, I don't know. Like, it's something about this Broncos. It's similar to the Rams. They're kind of like the Rams of the AFC, except like you flip the defense and the offense. Whereas the Rams got the offense, but you're not quite sure about what they're doing defensively exactly. And I don't know. They're just a weird team. Final team I want to talk about, another NFC West team, and that is the Seattle Seahawks. So, especially the reason I want to talk about them is they just played a monster game against the Commanders. They blew them to smithereens, 38-14. Dominant win. They are 6-2 in first place in the NFC West. Obviously tied with the Los Angeles Rams with that record. I don't know who has the tiebreaker, or I don't know. They haven't played each other yet. So that should be a great game in a couple of weeks. Here's my question. Is Sam Darnold going to be the guy that gets you where you need to go, Seattle? Because I'm old enough to remember last year, Minnesota Vikings, Sam Darnold, dicing it up, MVP candidate, playing like a stud. And then as soon as the division was on the line, he faltered. As soon as that playoff game was on the line, he faltered. I'm not a believer in Sam Darnold, but I cannot deny that this team, once again, is winning games. But you got to, again, consider whoever they beaten. They're beating the Steelers, who are bad. They're beating the Saints, the Cardinals, the Jaguars, the Texans, and, of course, the Commanders, as already alluded to. They are not good teams that they're beating. They are not good teams that they're beating. For them, their schedule gets interesting. I won't say super difficult, but it gets interesting. You got the Cardinals at home. Frankly, that should probably be a win. Then you got to go on the road to play the Rams. Now, on the road to play the Rams is basically a neutral site game for them. But still, you got to go on the road to play the Titans. That should be an easy win. You got to play the Vikings at home. Again, we'll see where J.J. McCarthy is by that point, but the Vikings could be a feisty team by that point. Falcons on the road. Probably not going to give you too much trouble. Colts. Who knows where they're at? They're going to be a better team with Sauce Gardner for sure. Then you got the Rams again. Panthers on the road. 49ers on the road. There's a world where I could see this train starting to fall apart. If they drop that game against the Rams, if they drop that game against the Vikings, and they're getting wins against the Titans, the Falcons, and the Cardinals, you start to think, okay, something ain't right. Sam Darnold, seeing ghosts, the whole shebang. It's not good. This is probably the team that, of the three teams that I've talked about, they're probably the second in terms of team that I believe in over not believing. The Broncos are the team that I don't really believe that much in, unfortunately. Sorry to the great Brandon Perna, the internet's favorite internet's favorite Bronco fan. But they are probably the team that I'm like, I don't know. Sean Payton feels like, the second iteration of, what's his name? Oh my gosh, who was the Saints coach? Mike Ditka feels a little bit like that. Feels like you're kind of doing stuff that worked maybe 10 years ago, but not sure if it'll work now. Getting by, I don't know. But yeah, the Seahawks, they're at least a fun team, and they're going to be more fun with Rashid Shaheed as well. Maybe they end up sneaking by and getting that division. It'd be pretty cool. Especially if the Rams don't get that division, because I don't want the Rams to get the division. All right? I don't like the Rams. Is that a crime? No. It's a reality. Okay. So those are a few teams. Obviously, there's more teams to talk about. You got the Eagles, you got the Chiefs, you got even the Bills to consider. I think right now we're in a point in the season, nobody really knows who's good, and we probably won't know who's really, really good until the end of the month, or maybe even the end of December, i.e. going into the playoffs. That's just how it works in the NFL. That's why they get us to watch. Hey, YouTube, if you like clips like that, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. We've got live shows every Tuesday night. Hope to see you there.